Okay, I'm not going to beat around the bush. Can I just ask you something? Are you afraid to get started on YouTube? Is that why you're not doing it? Look, I get it, and I think I can help. Hey, I am 100% convinced that everybody can benefit from having a YouTube channel, whether it's what you want to do to produce an extra stream of income and you're 100% focused on getting it monetized and being able to just earn money that way, or maybe you just love to get the creative juices flowing and you have the ideas for the topics and how you want to do it and how you want to set the background and all those sorts of things that you want to do. Great. Whether you want to be able to teach a certain hobby and a talent you have, perfect. We can all benefit from that. Or maybe you just want it to be a personal journal. Look, there's 1,000 reasons why having a channel is a good idea, but there's one reason that I hear coming up so much of why people just actually aren't doing it, and it's because they're afraid. Look, I understand. I've been there, and I think we can talk through a lot of those things, so hey, let's do it. Hey, I'm Diane. I'm a Gen Xer, and I've started this channel to help my fellow Gen Xers and early boomers in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s to understand the value of their wisdom and to generate some new opportunities to be able to share that. And if you happen to generate some extra income by doing that along the way, even better. So back to the fear about starting a YouTube channel. So what stage are you in? Are you in the, yeah, I think being on YouTube could be a good idea, but golly, I'm scared to death even thinking about it? Or have you moved to, yes, I definitely want to start on YouTube, but I need to learn how to record first, or I saw I have to get this exact right camera, so I'm just going to have to get that first and then I have to figure that out. Or maybe I don't have a pretty enough background for me to be able to do my YouTube videos, so I have to figure that out first. Could it be that maybe you're just finding reasons to procrastinate and not start it? Or maybe you've actually recorded your first video and, you know, it's not too bad, but then you let it sit a couple days and it's like, oh, I don't think I like it anymore. And then a little longer and it's like, oh, this is really stupid. And a little longer like, oh gosh, I should never post that. And it just dwindles away. No matter what your stage you're in, look, we just have to remember that the same result comes from that. That what you could give by having your YouTube channel, and honestly what you could receive back in whatever fashion by having a YouTube channel, isn't going to come because you're not getting started. I know there's 1,000 reasons why you don't want to do it, but let's talk about 3 big things that I think can be super helpful in pushing through and getting to that point where you're ready to start and you do it. Okay, fear blocker number 1, you can start and not be very good at it. Really, I'm not lying. The best thing about YouTube is that you're starting at 0. So you have time to post terrible videos in the beginning. You have time to figure out what you're doing. You have time to, you know, think about the topics that you feel the most comfortable talking about and the most equipped to talk about and work them in and figure out what you're doing, all in a space where you don't have a whole lot of eyeballs on you yet. So relish that opportunity. You can get that first video posted. You can get feedback from those that you trust to be able to speak into what you're doing. You can post that first video and see, oh, I could have done that better. And then course correct as you go. There is not a need to feel like you are an expert in this when you first start, because that's impossible to do. I haven't been doing this all that long yet, honestly. And, you know, I'm figuring it out. I struggle with figuring out the right topic that I want to talk about, and is that really going to help people, or is that too obvious? And I'm learning more about the practical, the setup, how I want to record, what I'm doing to improve my sound quality with each video, and figure out how I want to actually express things. And there's no way I could learn that unless I was doing it. So it's going to be the same for you. Just start. Just try. Just get the first ones up and assess and course correct, and it'll all be fine. All right, fear blocker number 2. Don't let the fear of what others might say to you rob you of a great opportunity. So whether these are strangers' reactions to you of what you post and they leave comments that are like whatever, or people that you know might find you online and make some comment to you that maybe you're not happy with, you know, who cares? Likely, they're not the ones that are doing it. They're the ones that are looking at you and thinking, wow, they're doing this, but they might say dumb things because we all say dumb things. But take heart in the fact that you're the one that's pressing on. Take heart that you're the one who's trying something new. Take heart that you're the one who is pressing ahead and something that could end up being a really big benefit for others and for you, and very likely they're not. So let their comments fall on deaf ears. And, you know, I've gotten a number of people respond with, well, what do I do if people leave rude comments on my video? All right, here is where being 55 comes in really handy in these circumstances, because I'm pretty much in a stage of life that I'm like, who cares? You know, I'm just going to do what I'm going to do. And if you have something that you want to comment on it about it that isn't necessarily going to be positive, oh, well, that's your prerogative. And I'm going to keep doing with what I'm doing. And you know, the nice thing about YouTube is you can crack open your favorite beverage and sit back and relax and hit delete. And it's a really good feeling because you don't even have to have it that it's staring you in the face every time you look at your videos. You can remove the negative comments. Don't be scared of them. And honestly, I'm a woman of faith. I draw on my faith in God for me to be able to push through challenges and push through fear. And I depend on Him for strength. I depend on Him to tell me the truth about who I am and the truth about who He is. So I encourage you to draw on your faith and just not let fear be what keeps you from being able to move it ahead into a really positive thing. And here's my third fear blocker that I think is good to think about. And that's, think about the people who you can help by what you post. So if you look at my channel, I don't have a whole ton of videos on it yet, and even that, with what you'll see, they're kind of divided into two eras. I have the neck surgery era, and then I have the era that I'm in now. So the neck surgery is based on the fact that a few years ago, I got news that I was going to have to go through a pretty tough neck surgery where my vertebrae were cut and fused, all to take some pressure off my spinal cord so that I could walk and do all those types of things that I'd like to keep doing. So, you know, you go through the surgery with that in mind. But you think, other people have done this. What was their experience like? So, of course, like every other person who's on the internet today, I went to YouTube to look to see what people had done for the surgery and how they got through it. And honestly, for this one, there was hardly any videos there. And, you know, it was kind of a bummer, but I thought, well, I guess it's up to me to be the one who was going to document what I go through with it. So I did. I took my phone and I made some pretty not great videos of me talking about what I was learning and then actually going through the surgery and the beginning of the recovery with the pain control and then what it was like to come back home. And, you know, I think I did a 2-week update and then like a 2-month update. And then I've done some since then just to show that, you know, what happened in the surgery is still going well for me. So, you know, honestly, there's some freedom in the fact that one of them I made laying in a hospital bed, pretty hopped up on some serious painkillers. And I don't know, I felt like I was mumbling like I don't even know what. But I posted it and I don't even know. There's probably 20,000 views on it at this point. It's crazy. And I just really didn't have the picture of how many people that would help. And through the years, you know, I've gotten thousands of comments. I don't want to make that up as a bigger number than what it is, but a ton of comments from people on YouTube, and then as other people have posted on Facebook and other channels and so forth, of, you know, people that were in a dire time and were scared like I was. And somehow by me just hopefully being a level-headed person talking about the experience and just being honest about what it was like, but giving hope that it was able to be something to get through, ended up being something that encouraged a lot of people. And I just didn't know it was going to be like that. And I didn't know it was going to be so rewarding in that way. And I'm glad they're still up. And I'm going to leave them up because people are still finding them and commenting and stuff. And, you know, it just turned into more than I thought it was going to be in a really great way. And honestly, I think there's probably a lot of stories that you could tell too that are going to encourage people the same way, because you're speaking truthfully and authentically about something that you know about, and they see you as being credible and they can take heart in what you're saying. So now to this era of the channel. So for the last few years, I've been trying several different side hustles to just bring in some additional money. I'm looking at retirement years and so forth, and we all just want to be saving like that. And, you know, just to have another income stream. So I've tried a bunch of different things, most of them unsuccessfully, to my regret. And the last couple of years, I've been trying more things on YouTube. I had a faceless channel, you know, where I wasn't on camera at all, but talking about things, and I put a fair amount of work into it, and it went nowhere. And then I did a channel that was based on some book reviews that, I don't know, it did okay. Probably if I poured a whole ton more of time in it and really tried to get it going, it might take off a little bit, but I didn't really like doing it. So I've had in the back of my mind that I've had this channel sitting there for a number of years now with these neck surgery videos on it that I really haven't done much with. And, you know, I didn't know whether it was good to start an old channel again or create a new one or whatever, so I just took a chance. And I blew the dust off this channel and made a little bit of a video for the neck surgery people to say, well, it's going to be a little bit different moving forward, that I'm sticking my neck out, get it, and trying something new here. And then I've been consistently, once every week, putting up a video about, you know, about what we can do of people in our 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s to be able to share the wisdom that we have and to affect other people in a positive way. And then also let it be an extra income stream. So I've come in with some amount of knowledge on it, and honestly, I'm learning along the way, and it's just kind of like, well, I'm just going to package this all together and just tell you what I'm learning and tell you what I'm thinking about it. And I don't make up a lot of stuff. I don't, you know, come up with this whole grand script of what I talk about. I'm just trying to be honest with you and authentic and talk about things that I think are going to help you too, because I want to see you succeed. And can I just tell you that this has blown up way faster than I thought it would. And it just makes me laugh. I was like, I just was expecting to put months and months and months of time in to get monetized, and I was prepared to do that. And I don't know, it's been maybe a month ago now, I was on a trip with a dear friend, and all of a sudden one of my videos just started taking off. And I was kind of like, what do I do? I mean, talk about fear at that point. I was like, oh my gosh, now what do I do? Because I really didn't expect that to happen. So, and I don't know what I'm doing a whole lot more now. I'm taking it week by week. I'm trying to figure out topics that I think will be helpful. I'm learning my processes and I'm sharing my processes because I kind of think that that's what helps too. And, you know, I'm just doing it. And I really had no idea that I'd be getting the numbers that I've been getting. I'm grateful. Golly, I didn't expect it to be this soon. And I am grateful for the comments that you all leave about the way that this is spurring you on to want to be able to do it too. I mean, I'm being honest when I say that I think everybody can benefit from having a YouTube channel. And if my just kind of off the cuff figuring out what I'm doing and hopefully sharing some information that maybe gives you a little bit more traction to go is helping, then I just love that. I love the fact that we can share what we know and have this platform to do so now in a really not very complicated way and be able to really help people to move ahead with some things that maybe they're stuck in. And I am 1000% confident that there are topics that you can do that same thing with. So would you think about it? Would you consider it? Would you think about the ways that what you know can help someone else get ahead? And would you think about the ways that what you can put on YouTube can end up being a really big benefit for somebody, and really let that be a fear buster? Honestly, I am absolutely still in the what the heck am I doing stage, but I'm figuring it out, and I'm posting a video every week, and I think I'm getting better. I know I'm definitely learning more, and I really think that that could be a route that you could take too, and not get trapped by the fear of this is way too much for me to figure out, because you figure it out as you go. So take heart that you can start when you don't know what you're doing. And please don't let the opinions of others, whether they be spoken or written, or even just what you imagine, be what holds you back. And consider what you have to share that really has the potential to help others too. And let those be the things that help you just block the fear, push forward, and do what you can to get started. I really hope you will. If no one else tells you, I will. You can do it.